Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Live from the TCL Broadcast Studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Tom Hauser has hung around here for at least the early part of Sports Talk. So is Channel 5 now taking a look at Town Ball too? All of a sudden, Town Ball's the hot deal. We got a friend of ours who's thinking of trying to get a documentary started on it. I won't say anything about that. But
is that Jim's? Sorry.
Now a lot of Town Ball stuff. All of a sudden, who did I? Somebody the other day had
Fox 9 did a series of them this summer.
That's right. Okay, I heard that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They've been going out on like Fridays, like we're doing our backyard barbecues. They've been going out to the
little town.
But
balls.
as I was telling Reuvers last week, Chris, when I ran into you in the lunchroom, I said, "Hey, I finally got to a town ball game because I've been a huge baseball fan all my life." And so I went to the Chanhassen Redbirds Victoria Vicks game, and it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
And especially after coming straight from a Twins game at Target Field, to go to a place where cheeseburgers were $3 and very good, I might add.
Yes.
And the beers were like $2, maybe
two and a half,
whatever it was, and then popcorn for like 75 cents. I thought I've gone to baseball in 1965.
Where I was in Hamburg a couple of weeks ago. I had to go out there and check back in with the Milroy guys before I got myself into that mess. But I think the beer was $2. Yeah, I think the beer was $2. Might have been, and burger was $3. Yeah, that was.
Well, and it was so laid back, and the mayor of Chanhassen is the public address announcer, and it's just all very. There's a lot of. Parents of kids who used to play high school baseball, they're now playing town ball.
And, there's some in South Dakota, there's some in Wisconsin, but it's very unique. We have more town ball teams than any state in the union.
Really? For
our size, over 300.
Now, these players who are playing town ball, Patrick, who are they? Do any of them have aspirations to get a scholarship to play baseball?
Some of them are college kids home for the summer, and some of them just got out of college. A lot of them are high school kids that play both. Smaller towns, you get the kids playing Legion ball, 2 Legion ball games a week and 2 town ball games a week. They're playing 4 games a week, these smaller towns. So,
well, if
what's your nucleus of your Faribault team?
About the same what you described. We've got a few kids that are still in college that are home for the summer. A couple of our guys just graduated, and then a couple of our older guys, and then 40-year-old radio guys that can't give up the dream. I mean, it really runs the gamut. But Pat's right. It's you played it growing up. Played Legion ball, all of those things, and then you just want to stay connected to the game.
You know how everybody that gets married has a secret that they have to tell the wife to tell her beforehand. Before she goes through with it, right?
Oh, I don't think my wife was aware of that rule, but I'm glad she wasn't.
Whatever secrets you might have, women's clothes, whatever they are,
right.
You got to.
Why did he look at me when he said that?
If you're a town ball player, you have to get. You got to say, okay, honey, here's the deal.
This is me.
April 20th to Labor Day. We're going to town ball games, and then the rest of the year is fine. I mean, it's a lot of the guys I know who are lifers have been through a wife or two.
When Tom, to kind of add on to Patrick's point, when me and the missus met, I would have held up to a baseball and a football, and she would not have known the difference between the two. But she grew into it, and she really got attached to it just because of going to our games and whatnot. But then when it came time to set the date, I said, can't be before Labor Day.
No, yeah.
Well, I think the equivalent for me would be that the secret, I guess, that my wife learned before we got married early on was my extensive baseball card collection,
well, hey,
which I still have.
That might be her inheritance.
Yeah, maybe all she gets. We move it from place to place to place, and it goes even beyond that. I collect stuff from the 1965 World Series between the Twins and the Dodgers, and whenever I go to like a sports collector show or Twins Fest, if I see something, I mean, I buy this obscure stuff, and she just shakes her head.
Tom, Stearns County. Up there. Now it's a big county. 29 town teams in that county.
Really?
Including 10 of them in the Stearns County League, which is had 8 of the same 10 teams since the 50s. And then they added a couple. They had expansion in the 60s, and the expansion fee was a case of beer for the board of directors. You know, they had to bring a case of beer to the next meeting to get into the league.
Expansion fee.
That was the expansion fee. But I went up there and did a piece last year, and they have on, I think it's Highway 4, State Road 4, there's an 11-mile stretch that they got 4 town teams, and the population ranges from 42 to 202.
Wow.
And 3 of the towns, one of them's got 109, one's got 80, and one's got 42, and then there's this Boomenberg of 200 that's got them. And I mean, that's how these towns sustain themselves, because the farmers don't have 11 kids anymore.
Yeah.
But somehow they manage to sustain themselves.
And so is there a real franchise fee? I mean, how do you get a team, like, say, a little town wants to start a team?
I mean, teams to some degree come and go, but they don't come and go that often. But
what you really need is you need a couple of guys that are dedicated, that, you know, either pay for some of the equipment, or sometimes you get a sponsor that is willing to foot some of that bill. But you know, it's almost like a tiny little business, Tom, where you've got to go out and raise some funds. You got to have a couple of fundraisers throughout the year. A big boost
to town team baseball in the 70s. It was dying, and a big boost became charitable gambling. They could the 2 bars in town would make the town team the charity, and they built nicer ballparks. They paid the bills, and it was folding all over the place, but it's made a big comeback. And now, but New Prague just spent $900,000 on their ballpark. Now it's a high school field too. You told me Waconia's got this beautiful ballpark, but you got to get out, and these old well-maintained ballparks like Fairfax is one of my favorites. It's got like limestone and stuff.
And I forget, what was the one that burned down?
That was
Larson
our guys at Tank. We were supposed to go down there and do a show, but they don't have the grandstand built yet, right?
They had the slow winter because of the long winter season.
Yeah.
And that's where they play town ball at that stadium, right?
Town ball, Legion ball, high school ball.
Yeah.
Well, what you got to do is you got to have, if it's municipal owned, they got to approve selling beer. This is the key thing. If you can't sell beer, you can't make it.
Yeah. And Chris, when you were running the Chanhassen team, you kind of made that clear to them.
The first part of that, and they were very new at it. They really didn't have much experience, but they had a lot of passionate people that were behind it. And because the Redbirds play on school grounds at the high school, at first they weren't going to be able to sell beer. And I said, folks, I got news for you. We don't sell beer. We're not going to make it.
Well, I was looking back at some stuff I wrote before I did the Milroy story, and I ran across a quote from 10 years ago where I asked somebody, hey, you got a pretty good crowd today. He says, 180 cases.
I'll tell you, I've become an ambassador for town ball in my neighborhood. I've got some neighbors who have little kids, and I said, take your kids out there. It is incredible. Kids are free for the most part, really young kids. They can come in. You don't have to stay for the whole game if you don't want to, but
they chase foul balls.
You want to go spend an All-American afternoon
Tom,
on a
last
Sunday.
year, we opened up the state tournament playing against the Gibbon Reds. And Dana Kicker sent Pat and me an email and said, I hope, because this was being played in Green Isle, and he says, I hope the Green Isle boys have stocked up on beer. In Gibbons, in their region championship game, they ran out of beer twice.
Wow. Yeah, you got to drink the beer. One of the greatest characters ever in the history of town ball is a guy named Joe Driscoll, who become a good friend of mine. One of the craziest guys ever, but a fantastic, baseball player who played on various locations. Sure. One time his legal address was a treehouse at the coaches. But anyway, you got to have it. But Joe, I was doing a piece on his retirement at age 50, and his brother, he just got married to a gal he'd been dating for 20 years, and his brother said the only reason she married him was we charged girlfriends $1.50 for beer and wives $1. She wanted to save. she wanted to save 50 cents. So it's the attitude that makes it wonderful.
As four married guys here, aren't we all just one step away from having a treehouse beyond home address? Yes. Isn't that on any given day? Well, Patrick, thanks for letting me usurp some of your time here to talk a little town ball.
No
because
problem.
I was smitten by it. I thought it was so much fun to go out there.
Well, what are you, about 2 minutes from Redbird Stadium? You got to make it more often.
Get a little farther. Drive out to
I want to go out and see
Maple Lake, places like that are
I want to get out and I want something that takes a 2-lane highway to get there.
Okay.
And then the ballpark is right. That's what I want to go to.
There's plenty of those. All right, Tommy.
All right,
we're going to
thanks.
Take our break on Sports Talk, and then Tom's going to come back, and we're going to talk Donald Trump when we come back. Pat, I got a question for you.
I am ready, sir.
Where next year, do you think we can rent that same house in Cooperstown that we rented when we went?
Are you that interested in seeing Jason Stark get inducted? He's a nice contributor to the station, but I don't think we'll go out there.
What's the Spank Award?
We are fodder. We're fodder. Just fodder.
We're fodder?
Yeah, just fodder. I'm going to vote for Jason. What
no,
the hell?
you got to vote for yourself.
Yeah, God, I have no interest. Honest to God, it's stupid. I told them not to withdraw it, not to have it on the list, and I don't know. Lavelle just to agitate me, got me nominated.
Well, that's the reason you have to fully embrace it then, because if you deny it,
we
then
embraced
he gets
it last year, and I finished third in a field of 3.
Now,
without a candidate as strong as Jason Stark.
Did Lavelle nominate you A, to agitate, but also to B, work out a free work-related trip to Cooperstown too?
Well, who's going to go in next year? Nobody. He's out there.
Because he'll be going up for Jack.
I don't know if he's going for Jack or if Phil Miller's going. I don't know who's going for Jack. Somebody's going for Jack.
Because Molitor's going out, right? He's taking a couple days away.
Taking the 1 day off. They're out. They're in Boston. He's just taking 1 day off. So.
Got it.
But yeah, I think that's good. I think they should let all the St. Paul boys be up there on the podium together.
That is really a trip I recommend, not only for dads and boys, but for entire families, because there's enough to do where you're not overwhelmed by baseball.
Yeah.
Just don't stay too long.
Yeah, it's great. It is a
couple of nights and get out of there.
Just what you got to do is if you go stay there once and you stay in a little house up on a distant road with a big gravel parking lot next to it and a barn across the street.
What's the key?
Don't think that's the only one. There might be another one just like it. That's
right. This is the one where you went to that house.
I went to the one. I went back to our house.
Yes.
Except that wasn't the house I was supposed to be going.
I've been there. Showered, used the facilities, made a sandwich, told him there's a little plumbing problem upstairs in the bathtub and might want to take care of.
No, fortunately, when I relieved myself, it wasn't in a strong and overwhelming fashion.
You weren't like the ad we run.
I could have
You're not like the ad.
Yeah,
you're number 3.
Was that a number 3?
I could have done it out behind the house, behind a tree, because I just. But
who are you?
But I was probably only 20 minutes away from really relaxing when I realized.
Settling in.
Silk robe, lotion.
Sitting on the couch, scratching. semi-bare rear end.
With your leg up on the couch going, hey, I'm in here.
Oh. Yeah, it was, that was,
Oh, my God.
I made the misfortune of telling my colleagues.
Oh my God.
Ringlesby and the guys, this was on Friday night, right?
Yeah.
And by Saturday night, when they had the reception, everyone in baseball knew about me trying to move into the wrong house, including the commissioner who came over and gave me a hard time. They thought it was the funniest thing of all time. Fortunately, in fact, I saw those people were at the reception. They were inducting the last class from the Negro Leagues. So it was a huge group going in that year.
Right.
Including organizers, developers, owners, pioneers, and most of them were black, but some of them, the athletes were black, but a lot of the organizers going in were white, you know. And the family that was in the house that I was in was white. They were a family from somewhere on the East Coast, and they were all in their 60s, and there was, they were the old man was long dead.
Right.
That was the organizer, but there were like 3 groups of maybe 7, 8 people, and just what I believe in, just what I realized. There's no computers here. There's no.
This doesn't look like a hotbed of press activity.
No, it does not seem like a sports writers center. And I'm walking down the steps, and the 3 cars come pulling up, and I go,
please don't shoot.
Don't use the lower restroom.
I go, there's an explanation for this.
Now remind me, how did you get in? Because you had stayed at the house before.
Nobody locks the door.
Nobody in Cooperstown. It was a door. It was open. I just walked in. And it looked
I used some of the lotion on the bottom.
The shelf. Yeah. I mean, it was, it was comfy. I'd been there before.
Right. You knew where you were.
Yeah, that was great. I was trying to decide what bedroom to take, and
hey, Goldilocks, you're out of here.
The funny thing is, they said, "Oh, you can stay here. We got
plenty of room."
I said, I think I better go look for the people I'm actually supposed to be staying with.
Oh my God, that is such a great story.
Yeah, right there. It was. We had a good old time, even though it was steamy when we were out there, though.
What was the first year you went? Was the first year you went?
These guys all went with Puck. I went for Rodney, and I didn't go for. 92? Who went in 92? Because Joe went for me because I was in Barcelona at the Olympics.
Because that would have been Rodney. Because didn't Rodney retire in 87?
Yeah, I guess I missed Rodney. I was there for Harmon.
Okay.
I guess. And I'd been there before, but I was not there for...
92.
Was that
Tom
Rodney?
Seaver, Raleigh Fingers, Orlando Cepeda, Tony Perez... Well, I guess that's the balloting. So
that's the balloting. 91
Let's see who
ballot.
made it.
Must have been Rodney.
It
had to be Rodney.
Yeah.
Because I was in Barcelona. I was the national president, and you always speak at the thing, but I had to go to Barcelona.
So Joe had to do it?
I sent Such, and I think Such went.
91 was Rodney.
Such went to write it. That's it. Such went to write it for the St. Paul paper. I can't remember.
Carew, Gaylord Perry, and Fergie Jenkins were 91.
Okay. I sent somebody in 92. I can't remember to fill in for me. Well, somebody filled in for me. I can't remember who it was, but I missed Rodney. And now I know. I got Ringlesby. I sent Ringlesby to speak for me, but Joe covered it for the St. Paul paper.
Okay.
He covered Rodney out there, 92, yes.
And then you guys all went out in 01.
Yes, and I was there another time, too. Who? Well, Winnie and Puck.
In 01,
Winnie
sure.
And Puck, yeah, Winnie and Puck. That was 01. That's when we
that's when we went out.
Yeah. Then I went out for Ringlesby when I moved into the wrong house. That was when I went out for Ringlesby. All right, we'll be back.
And we've got Frank Miller pinch hitting for Mr. Bruce Vail with the Your Money Now report. Comes to us courtesy of Owatonna's own Federated Insurance. Good afternoon, Frank.
Well, stocks finishing the day with some modest gains. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P all seeing some strength on the day. Stocks rebounded after Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell testified on Capitol Hill today. He said that economic growth in the second quarter was considerably stronger than the first, and he said the Fed believes the best way forward is to keep gradually raising interest rates. Traders mostly shrugging off some economic reports today. The National Association of Home Builders said that home builder confidence held steady in July. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve said industrial production increased in line with estimates in June, and that was thanks to a rebound in auto production. Shares of Netflix in focus today. Shares dropped around 5% after the company revealed that it added fewer than expected subscribers last quarter. They got 1 million less than they were expecting. And you've got a few hours left to head over to the local IHOP, or IHOB as it were. They're offering a short stack of pancakes for just 60 cents today in order to celebrate their 60th birthday. That's being offered from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at participating restaurants. You might want to check ahead. The offer limited to one short stack per person and is for dine-in guests only. Remember, last month was a bit of a brouhaha after IHOP temporarily changed its name to IHOB with a B to promote their new burgers. However, the company said, just kidding, it was just a ruse, and it was all a publicity stunt to promote their hamburger menu. And guess what? I guess it kind of worked, although I still haven't tried one yet. Anyway, I'm Frank Miller with Your Money Now, 1500 ESPN. Now, here's Kenny Soulman Olson.
Okay, thank you, Short Stack. We'll check traffic here, and this report sponsored by Indeed. We'll start between the downtowns. Westbound 94 at 15 minutes, eastbound between turning a 13-minute lap. Southbound 35E getting a little busy here along the Foolhardy Practice Freeway, 14 minutes each way, 494 to 94. Are you hiring? With Indeed, you can post a job in minutes, set up screener questions, then zero in on qualified candidates in it.
Here's John Haidt with a sports update.
Thank you, Patrick. Sunny, we're up to 80 degrees. All-Star game is tonight, and you will hear it right here, of course, 7 o'clock tonight on 1500 ESPN. Twins have one representative on the American League squad, and that would be pitcher Jose Barrios.
And it was raining like Hades there about an hour ago, but I looked at the forecast, and they said it would be clear or it would stop raining by 5 o'clock there, and then it looks like partly cloudy tonight, so they should be able to play.
Perfect. Miguel Sano, by the way, has left the Class A Fort Myers Miracle, where he was sent last month to return to the Dominican Republic because of an illness in his family. He should return in a few days. He's played so far in 19 games for the Miracle. He's hitting .328 with 2 home runs.
And apparently has lost a couple of pounds. Somebody told me the first 2 days he was there, they told him he had to lose weight. And the first 2 days he was there, he lost 7 pounds. And they said, okay, Miguel, you can still eat. You know.
News notes from today. President Donald Trump today said he accepted the U.S. intelligence agency's conclusions on Russia meddling. He said he meant the opposite yesterday when he said in Helsinki, he doesn't see. Now, he said he misspoke. He said yesterday, if you remember, he said he doesn't see why Russia would have interfered in the 2016 U.S. elections. Mm-hmm. Well, today, back at the White House, he told reporters what he meant to say was he doesn't see why Russia wouldn't be responsible.
Oh, okay.
So he said would yesterday.
He meant to use a double negative. Is
correct.
That what we're saying? He meant to use a double negative?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He also said he
said he might be a triple agent. He's really infiltrated. There's lots of layers.
Here's my question. All of these things that he said were repeated and defended on 2 Fox News interviews of some length that he did after the press conference. Mm-hmm. How did he still think that he had misspoke?
Yeah, he said today during the little, it wasn't even a back and forth, he just spoke. He had a script that he was reading from, and at times he'd look up and ad lib. But he said he couldn't figure out what the fuss was about, so he went back this morning and read the transcript. And that's when he noticed. I said would, not wouldn't.
Right. But he did not feel that any need to clarify this when the 2 Fox interviews were being conducted and repeating what he'd said.
I think we all, a lot of us have the right to get up on our high horse because we have never misspoke, ever.
Right. Do you seriously think he misspoke? Even after he had 2
I'm
interviews.
at the point where I'll believe anything. I'm just shovel it in. I'm going to chow it.
Wow. Yikes.
I think perhaps he decided that he'd misspoke after all the Republicans stormed over to the White House and said, "You know what you're doing to us here, Donald? You're killing us."
He also, now today, it got a little confusing when he spoke to reporters. As I said, he had a script.
Yeah.
When he read from the script, he said, Russia interfered in the election. He agrees with that conclusion. He then looked up and off the cuff said, it could have been other people that meddled too. Mm-hmm. Although that's already been said.
The crew from Scooby-Doo, the meddling kids?
Yeah, it's already been said by intelligence agencies that didn't happen, that it was just the Russians. So it was as confusing as yesterday.
The 40% that love him are still going to love him.
Exactly.
Not gonna make any difference.
Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter? For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, she will read.
That was the problem.
There you go. Yep. Meanwhile, Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team today asked Judge T.S. Ellis in Virginia to grant immunity to and protect the identities of 5 individuals who are set to testify against former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Mueller's team says that identifying the individuals was a result in the risk of their undue harassment. The filing also notes that there's a concern that the witnesses' invocation of their privilege against self-incrimination and the court's subsequent grant of immunity could lead to reputation harm for the witness. Prosecutors for the special counsel note that the 5 individuals in question are third parties who have not yet been charged in the matter and who have not been identified publicly with the case. University of St. Thomas and the McAllister-Groveland Community Council have canceled the St. Paul City Council candidate forum scheduled for tomorrow night after candidate David Martinez said he plans to stay in the race despite his recent arrests and calls for him to drop out. Doug Hedges, Vice President for Government Relations at the U, said, given the circumstances and what's transpired with the race over the course of the past week, we've decided to cancel the candidate forum. The 38-year-old Martinez is running against Shirley Erstad and Mitra Jalili Nelson in a special election in the 4th Ward seat. Despite having no political experience and being the least known candidate in the otherwise quiet race, he's shaken up the campaign and drawn attention away from issues facing the city and the ward. If you've missed it in the last couple of weeks, he was banned from the library. He was banned from Target Field. And now
which was an interesting one.
Yes. Now he's in jail.
Yeah, well, then he shared a risque photo of his ex-wife.
Correct.
Revenge porn,
or
they
yes,
call it.
yeah.
And that's what he's
I don't
charged
know if she's
with.
not. She's a estranged wife, not ex-wife.
Estranged wife,
Yes.
correct. Yep. The Crystal Police Department thinks a skimming machine may have been used on a bank ATM after several reports of debit card fraud. In a Facebook post, the department said it thinks the device was used June 8th, 9th, 28th, and 29th at the TCF Bank on Bass Lake Road.
How's that work, Johnny?
They put a little thing on there that reads numbers and gives the numbers to the bad guys so that you can identify.
Where do they put it? Do they have to break into the machine?
I don't think so. I think it just goes right on the outside. They also do it at gas station pumps.
I was going to say, it goes on where the card swipe, where the reader is swiped.
How do I know if it's in there or not?
You don't.
Mm-hmm.
So
we just got to trust. We just got to trust our fellow man.
Well, honestly, that's why I don't use pay at the pump ever.
You and Such?
Oh yeah, I never, because they're like the number
taking
one.
a stand.
No. It's the number one place where people get their cards ripped off is pay at the pump machines.
You groveling sycophant.
Plus, I got to go in and get my Diet Pepsi. Leave me alone.
Has he replaced me as a groveling sycophant?
Oh, wow. Chris.
But then there's those stickers that say this was just checked.
What an odd thing not to want to get ripped off.
Wow.
You're a dummy. Why is that bad?
Chris he's like that because he told me once, I don't remember what it was, but it was an online thing, and he told me I was an idiot for putting my number on there.
You are.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
I will steal your phone number and call you.
How many little slots at gas stations in the Twin Cities are there? 100,000?
Millions.
Yeah, there's
100,000.
Yeah.
What are the odds? What are the odds?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
going with-
You're
I'm going
willing
with
to roll
Royce.
the dice.
Yes, it's like the plane with the little,
who wants to
with
go?
the little dented door handle on it. Let's go. Come on.
Christopher, no
Give it a
matter
shot.
no matter how much you worship him or emulate him or do what he tells you to do, he's still not going to like you. So just go your own
I'm
way,
still
man,
the sycophant.
Right.
I'm still the sycophant.
He's still only going to worry about himself.
Be your own man, Chris Reuvers.
All right, 10 biggest credit card scams.
Oh, God.
Number 1 with a bullet is pay at the pump. You
I'm
guys,
with Royce.
you know what? That's fine.
I'm
That's
with
fine.
Royce. What are the chances?
That's right.
A 71-year-old woman suffered serious head injuries after tussling with a black bear in her New Hampshire home early Tuesday.
In her home?
Like in a boxing match?
It gets worse. New Hampshire Fish and Game officials say the bear somehow got inside the home about 1:15 this morning. The house located in Groton, located in the central part of New Hampshire. The woman, identified as April Rogers, came face-to-face with the animal, sustained serious facial and head lacerations. Here's the problem for April. At the time of the attack, she was in a wheelchair. The bear attacked her in a wheelchair.
So if she would have been on her own hind legs, she probably would have kicked that bear's ass. John, do you have the Grand Forks bear story?
I don't have it.
Let's go back to April. Why did he unlock a door?
Well, authorities
barge in or what?
Authorities think the bear became trapped inside the home, getting in somehow, they're not sure how, and panicked while trying to escape.
Well, of course he panicked.
And the homeowner walked in just at that time. So
she rolled in.
And he said, the bear said, I only went to the bathroom on the main floor. There's a misunderstanding and an explanation.
You know what? The bears are. We got to do something, man. We got to start shooting them on sight.
They're as bad as geese.
A couple of right in.
Didn't you shoot a couple of them or one of them a week or two ago while I was away?
Fletcher's?
It made the news.
Yeah.
You shot a bear there, and then yesterday there was a bear in a tree in Grand Forks, and they did everything they could do. They found a tranquilizer. They shot it. It fell asleep. They brought it down. Turns out there was too much dope in the tranquilizer, and they had to euthanize the bear. Why? My question is, why can't we just leave them alone? They're bears being bears, and they're black bears. They're not going to go after humans. Just leave them alone. Keep your distance. Let them amble out of town.
When they start walking in your house, then it's time to have. It's time to.
Plus, they'll steal your credit card information.
If a bear is in your house, the same way a predator or a violent criminal is in your house, you get to kill it.
Okay.
But if it's in a tree in your backyard, just let it be.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there a bear found right outside that white bear dealership? Right in the woods?
That's a big bear.
That is a big bear.
White one, too. You don't see many white ones
big
around
white
here.
bear.
Famous albino bear.
Yeah.
We'll know all hell is broken loose with the environment when we start having polar bears walking around the street. When they get down here. One requirement for that sports broadcaster idol contest. Is that going to run? Somebody said 7 to 8 a.m. on Saturdays? Sundays? You got to be an early riser, man.
Hey.
Right?
If you want to be in it, you got to get after it.
That's right.
Get fast.
That's right. But if it's good, we'll probably move you up to a more choice time.
Let's face it, none of them are going to be good. I mean, come on.
You can't say that.
Most of the people already getting paid to do the job suck. Good Lord. We're going to pull somebody off the street.
And by the way, if you've graduated...
You know what? I should put a check, my own money, and since I'm shooting my mouth off, if somebody is actually good, I should write them a check because they proved me wrong.
You know what? If you're a graduate of Brown, you're ineligible, right? We can't have any. We can't
pros.
Have any. We can't have any pros.
You can trust Rook and I. Brown does not make you.
I did some time in Devil's Lake. I'm ready for the big time. Is it ready for me?
There's a reason this Brown grad is still doing traffic.
Still producing after 27 years over here.
You've been here 27 years?
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, it makes you kind of.
Yeah, it does.
You see all those urchins I had running around the Crow? Mm-hmm. They've grown up fast, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
I would have had more years, but yeah.
I hadn't seen Sophia in a long time. She's skinny. How the hell could she be such a thug in hockey?
She is fast and she's solid muscle.
And she must like to hit people with sticks.
Yeah, she does. She's feisty.
Okay.
Pickup basketball games.
She has good metabolism. She has good metabolism.
Oh, really?
Pickup basketball games, if you've played them, of course, they can get a little rough now and then. You get pushed around a little bit. It's part of the game. Cops in Virginia responded to a pickup basketball game late Monday at an LA Fitness gym in Sterling after a player fell to the floor from an aggressive screen and got up and called police.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just that was it?
Yep.
There wasn't fisticuffs or anything?
Nope.
He was fouled.
Witness tweeted, "Today, for the first time in my life, I experienced someone call the police because they got fouled hard in basketball." Everyone at the gym, and the dude in the black with his hands folded falls from a hard pick. He gets up, tells everyone he's going to call the police, and walks out, leaving everyone who is playing confused. The witness who later...
he's not going to get picked the next time.
No. Yeah. The witness, who called himself Aaron, told a local TV station he thought the unidentified man was joking, but the man was serious and marched his way to the front desk, asked to use the phone, called police. When police came, Aaron said police looked at him and said, "Why are you wasting our time?" Managers at the gym confirmed the incident and response by police. Video footage is not available since the gym's basketball courts don't have video surveillance. The other pickup players simply returned to the game after the incident.
We don't know if he was taking a dive or not.
No, we don't know anything.
Well, it was
a hard
some guy who. It is funny those. Back in the day, in the 70s, Don McMahon was the Twins pitching coach. And also loved to play noontime hoops. So he'd get a bunch of us to play noontime hoops. And we played in some interesting places. The downtown Detroit YMCA, that'll get you going.
Bold. Did you guys win?
No.
They never fouled once. They never fouled once.
We didn't win. They might push you into a wall and you'd say, "Hey, good defense there, buddy. Good defense, Willie."
You play shirts or skins?
I always had to be on the shirts.
In Georgia, an inmate at Ackworth Prison promised $10,000 and 2 Atlanta Hawks tickets to anyone who would kill his ex-wife and her current boyfriend. Word got around.
How do you do this now?
Is that offer still available?
Word got around quickly, according to an FBI informant. 29-year-old Michael Lawrence Dane McEarkin was sentenced to 10 years in prison from it this Monday, according to federal documents. McEarkin was in Bartow County Jail in October on drug charges when he started circulating his want to hire a hitman. FBI found out from a confidential informant they had McEarkin to send a $800 down payment to a P.O. box. See if he was serious.
What was he mad about Mom about? What was his problem with the ex? Oh, okay.
She had a new boyfriend, apparently.
Oh, okay.
And she took all that beer.
All I want.
All I got. McEarkin told the would-be assassin where his ex-wife lived in Smyrna, Georgia, what the best time of day would be to find her, and the name of the barber shop where the current boyfriend worked. McEarkin was indicted on charges in the murder-for-hire plot at the start of the year. He had promised $10,000 and
just 2 Braves tickets or Hawks tickets.
Hawks, yeah,
$10,000 and 2 Hawks
not
tickets.
Season tickets. Just
nope.
Boy, oh boy!
So they can find you at that specific game.
You can get a Hawks ticket on the street for about $3 each without killing somebody.
Tough one in Conroe, Texas. A woman there was arrested and accused of biting off a large piece of an acquaintance's nose and then swallowing it.
Oh, glad you said nose.
Ooh, tough girl.
Yucky.
41-year-old Jessica Collins charged with assault, bodily injury. The woman whom Collins is accused of attacking told Eyewitness News she's afraid to leave her bedroom. "It's where I feel safe," she told the TV station.
Well, did she get her nose reattached or not? Oh, she swallowed it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You know what that is? Determination. Mm-hmm. That's determined.
Woman says she went out to a bar on Wednesday night of last week with her next-door neighbor and Collins, who was temporarily staying with the neighbor. She said they went back to the house after the bar, and Collins demanded more alcohol and cigarettes. Well, she then told Collins to leave the property. The woman jumped on her, pulled her to the ground by the hair, and bit off a large piece of the nose.
Oh, wow. Man, that'll, not only will that hurt, that'll harm your looks.
Yeah.
Having no nose will detract from your good looks.
Woman says she passed out several times, didn't realize her nose was injured until she was in an ambulance. She said, "I started calling my husband. I was screaming, 'I don't have a nose. I'm 28 years old and I don't have a nose anymore.'"
Oh,
doctors told the woman she'll need urgent plastic surgery. She doesn't have health insurance, though.
What did we charge the crazy woman with?
Hunger.
What's that Jane Fonda movie with Lee Marvin where he's got the fake nose?
That's Cat Ballou.
Cat Ballou.
Yeah.
Get her one of those gold noses that Lee Marvin wore.
One of the funniest movies of all time.
Remember when he walks in and starts singing "Happy Birthday" to the dead body? Happy birthday to me.
Well, the best was the horse. Remember when he won the Academy Award? He said hello to the horse because they had the horse leaning up against the side of the building with his legs crossed, sleeping when they were both passed out, the horse and him. And he said, "I owe this to a horse in San Bernardino Valley."
Not exactly a relaxing day at the Jersey Shore yesterday afternoon. Apparently taken by a sea breeze, a beach umbrella impaled and injured a 67-year-old woman.
Oh, my God. That's bad luck.
Impaled where?
In the foot, right ankle.
Oh.
According to the Associated Press, Margaret Reynolds came all the way from London, England to visit Seaside Heights, New Jersey, only to have that right ankle impaled by a blowing beach umbrella. According to the AP, the umbrella pierced her right ankle, was driven completely through due to the force of the wind.
Wow.
Borough Police Chief Tommy Boyd told the Associated Press fire crews used a bolt cutter on the umbrella to free the woman and put her in the ambulance. Authorities have not released further details on her condition, although she was talking.
Was this a rented umbrella, or is there somebody in trouble?
I don't know it. I saw a picture of them working. It just looked like a normal beach umbrella. So that's all I can tell you.
All right, Johnny. Thank you.
You bet.
What do you got, Brock?
They announced a boxing card August 24th at the Armory. The second ever. Our guy Caleb Truex will be on that card. He's be fighting a guy from
That'd be a good
Brazil,
match to go to.
A guy from Brazil, Fabiano something or other, but his nickname is Pitbull.
Ooh.
You got to be tough if you're fighting a guy named Pitbull.
Going right out after you.
Jamal Jones will be on that. Jamal James, excuse me, the great young fighter from the Twin Cities will be on that card too. And the one little thing I noted, now when they had the first card, we had the blizzard, the snowstorm.
Yes.
This time, 2.5 blocks away, we have a Vikings exhibition game with Seattle. So there'll be a little, get your parking spot early. That's what I would
arrive
recommend.
early.
It'll be festive, though. It'll be festive.
And the Armory's a great boxing venue, man. It's terrific. The new Armory, you got to check it out. They had a concert. They were getting all set up for a lot of post X Games parties. So there'll be some wanton youth hanging around in there. So anyway, we got that going for us, and Jim Cott also.
Kitty will be on the ride with Royce, 1500 ESPN. It's KSTP, St. Paul, Minneapolis.
To be your best every day, you need proven quality sleep every night. Science proves your best sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. And that's where the Sleep Number bed comes in. And let me tell you, ever since I've had it, my sleep IQ score is just going higher and higher. And did you know 8 out of 10 couples say that one of them sleeps too hot or too cold? Science tells us regulating your sleep temperature leads to higher quality sleep. For many couples, temperature struggles are a real challenge. So here are some tips to help you both sleep just right. Look for beds designed with temperature benefits, such as the new Sleep Number Climate 360 Smart Bed that actively warms and cools each side so you both sleep blissfully comfortable. And now save 40% on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed, plus special financing for a limited time. Only at Sleep Number stores or sleepnumber.com/podcast1. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the National Football League. Subject to credit approval, minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details.